This particular neck has Spanish cedar, and this cedar on this heel is almost as rock hard as maple, and it's hard to. And then here, this particular blade here is as sharp as a razor, and I'm having trouble even cutting through it because the cedar is so hard. Rounding this spot here, you just have to chip away at it. Some of the cedar I've gotten is soft enough to where I can take a cuchillo like this and round it off, but this stuff will hardly even cut it. And usually it just slices like bread. But this stuff is, to shape it, is so hard I can't even use this cuchillo style knife here with the handle to get a lot of torque. So I have to go to this sharper knife here to get enough to, and this handle here should be about twice as long for me to get better torque. I got this knife from Woodcraft, and they got the right idea with the blade and sharpened to a point like this to where I can get real tight stuff like that. But the handle needs to be about twice as long to get a better handle on it, you know, for the torque to do curves and stuff like that. So I just wanted to show you this particular carving. This stuff is just really tough. I guess in some ways having harder wood in this is probably better for the neck, but boy, this stuff is hard. It's harder than just regular Honduras mahogany. So it's coming slow but sure, you know, getting the curve and the heel that I want. And then I'll start using files on it, a rasping file to smooth it out more. And it's just about done. I've still got to shave some off of this area here to make the neck a little thinner, you know, going into the box there. So this is where I'm at right now with the neck. And I hope this doesn't discourage anybody from heel carving, but heel carving is something I really don't like to do. I'd rather have a machine, some kind of CNC, do the heel for me. It'd be a whole lot better, because all this is just me. All this is just labor. I mean, it has nothing to do with. I guess you can develop a talent by heel carving, which I've certainly been doing it for many years, but no matter how long and hard I try at it, things just don't change with this. It's still just menial labor. So if somebody out there want to get in there and do a CNC neck with everything with the heel, that'd be great. Thank you for watching. What I'm doing here is just kind of finishing up the carving. using the tip of this right here, primarily to make the curve with. Turn it around here, like this, and I'll take it like this. Okay, now as you can see, this is all carved. No rasp or file was used on it, just did the basic carving of the deal. Then what I'll do is I'll take a rasp and sort of smooth it out, and then I'll go with sandpaper and do the final smoothing. So all of this is done up to this point with this carving knife, and I'm starting to learn how to use this short handle, and so it feels a little bit better for my hand. I'd rather have a longer handle on this, but it seems to be working pretty good. So that's about the extent of the carving now with this knife. So thank you for watching. Welcome to the shop at Tom Blackshear. I had a little problem with the neck that LMI sold me. The problem was it was too long, you know, for an upper bout for a flamenco guitar. So I cut this off the bottom, hope to save it, and just take some wood off the neck foot and then glue this back on. But I came up with a little bit better idea, I think. And what I did was just piece the inside rather than doing the outside here. Doing the outside here, I don't want to, it'll keep the same coloration and everything, but inside the heel, I'm using a real stiff piece of Spanish cedar, and I just inserted it this way, and then it'll come out like this. So this is a dilemma that got cured. A little harder way to work with a neck LMI sold me, but just the same, it works. So I thought I'd share this with you. Thank you for watching. Well, here's the head pretty well finished off, and that's the head design on top there. And this is this head is cut right here in the peg holes and extended up here for machines with either a lyre on top, or you can use classical machines on it, whatever suits your purpose. And then this is the heel, pretty well finished off. Oh. Okay, that's the extent of it, and on to the next project. Hello again. This is, I've done a little bit more work on the heel and also the head. Now this was a neck sent to LMI by Manuel Adelaide factory in Valencia, Spain. This is not quite what I wanted, but I can make it work by piecing this down here to make it shorter this way, you know, because it comes in a little bit longer, like about like this, and it's just too large, because when I cut it down, then the heel right here disappears. So I had to piece a heel right in here, part of the heel work inside the guitar for extra support. But it seems to be working just fine. You know, I pieced it from this point here to down here like this, rather than to go into the heel itself. This way I maintain an even coloration on the heel outside, and everything seems to work okay that way. See, I've got the contour of the heel pretty much the way it's going to be when the guitar goes together. Also, coming down here, I use my knife, that little, let me see, this knife here is ultra sharp, and it carves really nice right in here. You know, just with a little, like that. So I'm really happy with this knife as far as cutting this curve here. It works really well. I've got my head design already fixed. Everything is fixed there. And the head design looks fairly well balanced. I'm going to say it's totally hand carved, so it's going to look like it's hand carved and not done by a laser machine or something that's just perfect. But the balance of it is very good for hand carving. One side to the other is very nicely balanced. Okay, and I've got one. I've ordered these machines here because the Rubiners are too heavy. So I got these Goto machines from LMI, and essentially they'll go on the head here like this. They fit perfectly to where everything is nice and tight, but easy to turn. And you'll notice, you know, the lyre fits in nice here. And also I started the carving a little bit extra up this way, you know, to bring it down like that for a nice curve there. So this is what the head looks like, and I'm happy with it so far. Another thing too is these pegs here plug a hole that I guess Adelaide used to hold the neck to do their carving. I'm not sure what it was for, but I plugged the holes, and I'll cut these off flush, you know, before I put the fingerboard on. Okay, thank you for watching. Okay, this is finally what I've decided to do on the rosette and the bridge. Now what I did with the bridge was I took the old tie block off and put a new tie block on that would match this rosette, so it looks better now. And I like the rosette for sort of like the Conde style, so I went ahead and took the original tie block I had on this bridge and just removed it and put another tie block that goes with the rosette much better. Okay, on the neck, what I've done is sort of carve out the side a little bit to take a little more weight off the neck support for the top. Everything looks pretty good with the neck now. I've finalized how I'm going to work the head, and I've got this all fixed up. Welcome back to the shop of Tom Blackshear. Right now I just inset the rosette, and I wanted you to see how clean the edges are. It's a rough inset right now without being sanded too much, and it gives you an indication that the rosette is very tight and very clean lines. And this is the rosette I'm going with, the Conde style guitar build. So this is where I'm at. The next step will be to mark off the inside of the top, and primarily at that point I'll start explaining what I'm going to do with the strut pattern and how it is going to affect the sound. Right now I have to let the rosette dry a little more, and then the next step will be to mark off the inside for the top pattern. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the shop of Tom Blackshear. Here we go again. This is the flutter brace right here for the sound hole. This is about the style. It'll overlap the rosette on the outside just a little bit, and then we'll cut out the sound hole wood when we get to the point of gluing this on. And then once we cut the sound hole, then we'll start gluing struts onto the top. This strut here on the treble side sort of affects the third string. For Conde purposes, they cut this strut short right here instead of going all the way to the harmonic brace. Going across the top, they just cut this a little short. This causes the third string to drop off into the box a little bit and be more in harmony with the treble struts over here. So it's a matter of just fine-tuning this strut right here to fall in line with these two struts here. Now, the bottom brace on the treble side goes up toward the sound hole just a little bit, where on the bass side it stays down a little bit further down toward the bottom. This is to open up the bass a little bit and then squeeze the treble just a little bit to give it a higher frequency. This makes the brace on the treble side a little bit stiffer than on the bass side, which is a little more loose. These are little pockets of tentallones that brace the top. Here, this particular piece here shows the tapering off the end of each strut, and most of them are pretty much the same, except for this one right here. It goes down, it's a little bit further, you know, to actually cause the third string to drop off a little. These are the harmonic bars up here, and then I'll have a little brace up here for the neck, where the neck is. I'll have a brace up there. So this is about it. We're running 7 struts across the top and 2 stiffeners on the bottom. Now the braces on the top are like 5/16 wide and pyramided. Down here they're a little bit less width, about a 1/4 inch wide, and pyramided about the same. But these struts here on the center are about 1/8 of an inch high, where these right here are about 3/32, not quite 1/8 of an inch. I'm not sure if I'm getting my calculation right, but they're less than 1/8 of an inch high on these stiffeners here, which end here at this point. These are just lines that go, for measurement. So that's about it for now, until I start setting in the struts. Thank you for watching. Why, welcome again to the workshop of Tom Blackshear. I'm just starting to get all the struts cut and sized to put on the top. This is a dry fit. This is not glued yet. I wanted to give you an opportunity to see what the strut outline is. And then after that, in a day or two, I'm going to glue the struts in. You'll notice the third strut right here on the treble side is cut a little short off the line. Well, this is to cause the third string to drop into the box just a little bit on its tone, and that way it'll come more in line with the second string and the first string. And this is all I'm going to do with the fine tuning before I put the guitar together. Once the guitar is together, then I'll fine tune the struts a little bit more to get the exact tone and articulation that I want from the sound and the way the strings pop. Okay, until the next time, thank you for watching. Welcome back to the shop of Tom Blackshear. This is about as far as I've gotten with the Rosette sound hole. This is finished off like here. It's tapered around the edge right here. It's also tapered around the edge like this right here. I kind of did this little straight slant here, and then did that, and then another little slant here, just as kind of an easy way to do the Rosette. Nothing special. Like, I didn't round it. I just kind of squared it on the edges like that. And this is basically the sound hole cut out. And I'm going to turn it over and show the Rosette. The Rosette is this, and this is about and this will be what I would call rounded on the edges quite a bit, down to the seam, the glue seam. It'll be rounded down to the glue seam. The same way with the inside. This is about it. The next will be gluing on the fan braces. And I'm going to get into some explanations when I glue the braces on, but it may take me a few days to glue the braces on. I'm still not back to par yet. So this is about it. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the shop of Tom Blackshear. Again, I'm starting to glue the struts in, and I've glued the first and the second strut in from the treble side, and I'll go over here, right here, and glue the third brace in, and I'll take it and line it up like this and push it in by hand, get all the glue out as much as possible and stabilize it to that position. And then what I'll do is I'll put this little thing like this. And then glue 3 struts. And take 3 braces, and clamp them down until it dries. And I do this usually about 1 to 2 struts at a time. I don't use the newer idea of the whatever you want to call it, to where you put the braces down the sticks. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I do it the my old way, and that's just do it little by little. Okay, this is starting of the gluing of the fan braces. It'll probably take me a few days to do this, so I'm not in any big hurry. So when I get them all glued in, I'll come back to you and show you how I shape them. Thank you for watching. To the shop at Tom Blackshear. What I'm doing right now is I've got all the 7 fan braces glued in and shaped on a sort of a pyramid rather than a rounded shape on the top. I'm going to go back to the original pyramid, and then I'm going to take like this, and relieve the struts about like this. I'll relieve all the bottom edge of the struts. I'll go up and relieve the top the same way. Now this one right here is basically separated from the line, this line, and going here. Now this causes the 3rd string to drop off a little bit and go in line with the 2nd and 3rd string, when the guitar is strung up. Now this is about all I've done right now, and I'm going to go ahead and relieve all of these strut ends and get that all set up and make sure that all the things are sanded smooth. Then I'll put in these closing struts here on the bottom. That's where it ends, right here. Now that's there's nothing more I can explain right now, except that I'm in the process now, and things should go a little bit faster. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the shop of Tom Blackshear. Again, here we go again. This is the finished, pretty well finished fan brace system on the 68 Conde style. I've left them about an 1/8 inch high, but they are pyramided. They're about an 1/8 inch high on all of the struts and about 5/16 wide on all of the struts, except for the bottom struts here. They're about not quite an 1/8 inch high, maybe about a 32nd less on the height, and they're about a 1/4 inch wide on each. Now I've taken the liberty to over glue the line here to where there'll be less separation of line on top shrinkage and stuff. Also, these two come in here just for extra braces for the top. So what I'm going to do is keep these fan braces the regular 1/8 inch high and lower the harmonic bar, the horizontal harmonic bar right here. It was 5/8 inches high. I'm going to lower it to 9/16, about a 1/16 of an inch off the top. And then on the outside edge, the scallop, I may scallop the edge to a little bit less than what the original was, and that was, I think I'll maybe scallop it down to about a 1/4 inch on the side here. This I'm going to keep like this. Now the reason I'm taking the height off a little bit of this is because I'm going to allow the height on these struts to do most of the balance as far as the articulation of the top. We'll see how that works out. And that's just something that I learned on the 68 Reyes, or not the 68 Reyes, but the 87 Reyes, excuse me, the one that I built last time that Richard has. So this is where it stops right now, and then I'll take and apply the top brace, harmonic top, under the fingerboard. I'll apply that, and then the top will be finished as far as I can take it until I start working on other parts of the guitar. Thank you for watching. Here's the top fairly put together. I have a little carving to do on the upper transverse bar. Just a little bit more carving to do. Maybe a little bit of finessing with the struts here. But this, the top is just about ready. And the neck is all primed and ready to go, you know, for fitting to the sides once I get the sides into the mold. And the sides are over here. And in answer to Ricardo that asked me about spring back on the sides, LMI sends the sides bent like this, and it holds it in a mold until I get ready to use it. Now obviously there'll be a little spring back, but I can correct that on a little hot iron if necessary. However, this pre-bent side is pretty stable, and as long as I keep it in the press and acclimate to my shop humidity, then there shouldn't be a problem of just putting it in the mold and then putting it together. You know, getting the sides ready, getting the top, the neck all put together in the sides. So it'll go pretty fast once I get this done and into the mold. So this is the answer to Ricardo about spring back. This will hold the sides and pretty well keep it in the position until I'm ready to put it into the mold. Okay, that's it for now. Okay. Welcome to the shop of Tom Blackshear. I'm back in the shop for a little bit. I wanted to show you how this neck slant goes into the bottom block, and it drops just about 1/8 of an inch or so. And then, you know, my lining that will go around the edges like this will more or less capture the height right here of the block, but then it'll come down and pretty much level out across the bridge area, you know, going across the top. So this is set right. I've got the neck rise set right. Everything is right here. I've got I've got it set right here, and it's set right here. Everything looks good, and it's adjusted and held tight by this screw here. And it has a little mechanism on the bottom here that adjusts and, you know, gets the neck straight, or, you know, it rounds it like this and straightens it in. And what happens is that when I measure the line, it comes right to the line. It goes right to the line at the bottom here, and it's level with the line here going up and down the neck. So I know it's straight this way, you know, going back and forth. It's straight with the line. It measures across even, you know, going across to here, you know, to lower bout, waist. Upper bout measures exactly the same, you know, on one side to the other. It's right in the center. So this is what this little neck holder is for. And this piece of equipment here shouldn't be here. I have to go buy a little brace or whatever you want to call it to close the top. This actually closes the it closes the center line of the mold together. So I'm going to get a fixture, or just make a little fixture to hold it and center together. But it's all ready to go for the lining. And then when I get through with the lining, I'll put the top on. And once I get the top on, then, you know, I'll do the back and, you know, yada, yada, yada. I've got the top, then I'll put the bridge on, center the bridge, and then I'll fit the fingerboard to comply with the bridge section the way it's supposed to go. This will be on a 655 millimeter scale. So that's about it for now. Thank you for watching. Folks, I'd like to introduce Harrison Picardo. He's the very good builder that is finishing this guitar for me, and he just now has installed the top. So we're doing a progression of video to try and show the Flamenco Floro the different steps of what it's going to take to finish the guitar off. We now have the top glued on. After that, Harrison will build the back, get the back finished and put the back on, then the binding purfling. And then after the binding purfling, we'll install the fingerboard. Then we'll string it up and we'll start the progressions of top thickness and anything else that needs to be done to perfect the tone of the instrument. So this is where we are right now, and Harrison, thank you for a day's work.
You're very welcome, sir. Yes, sir. My pleasure.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the shop. It's in sort of late morning for me, and I'm just sort of waking up real good. I wanted to show you something on this neck angle. The neck angle from the nut all the way to the sound hole should be exactly level, you know, to where it'll take an even thickness fingerboard to go on. What I wanted to show you right here very clearly is the neck angle goes down and just touches the edge, inside the edge of the sound hole right here. You can see how it touches the edge. It doesn't go above. That lifts it a little bit, but on the neck angle going down toward the edge of the sound hole, it touches just the inside of the edge just a little bit. That's where I want it as far as the neck angle goes. Also, you can see that the top is basically flat from one side to the other. It goes flat here, it goes flat here, and it raises just a little bit. You have just a little rocking right here because what I've done is take the end of the box right here on the end block, and I take it and it goes, the taper is just about to 1/16 of an inch over to this area here. And what this does, it will lift the bridge once it's strung up. It will lift the bridge, or the top, I should say, into the bridge. It will lift the top from here to here into the bridge angle, which will have a little curve to the underside of the bridge as well. But on the front edge of the bridge, it'll pretty much bend the top to where it'll be flat in front of the bridge, going this way. Now, to take the edge of the sound hole right here, you'll have a little bit of air coming through here. That means the top is going down around the bridge area. Once the bridge is glued on, it will actually pull the top up to fill this space, and it'll be fairly flat from the sound hole to the end block. This is essentially the way I put my tops on, and it's not necessarily the way that all guitars are constructed, but I find that it works well for my inclination and the way I build. So that's what I wanted to show you on this, and thank you for watching.